Hi, I'm Purple Streak, and I'm a massive Spongebob fan. Yet I only recently found out about a Spongebob game that completely passed me by. It turns out North America got a different version of Creature from the Krusty Krab for the PC, in the same way there were different PC versions of the console games Battle for Bikini Bottom or the movie game. Now, if you want my opinion on the point-and-click Spongebob games, then I'd suggest watching my video on the Spongebob movie game, link in the top corner. Spoilers, I hate it. Now join me as we both discover the region-locked Spongebob game, Nighty Nightmare. Nighty Nightmare was developed by All Games, the same company behind the other Spongebob PC games like the almighty PC Quad Pack. If you didn't have these bad boys growing up, then you probably didn't end up needing the same therapy I did. These were trash. So my hopes going into this game were already pretty low, but wow. This game. I don't know how this is an official game. It's so bad. The majority of the art in this game just looks incredibly rushed. The animations in the intro of the sleeping characters is where the entirety of the animation budget went. They're the only thing in this game that looks like someone with more than 10 minutes in Adobe made them. The rest, well, look at it. The cutscenes are a combination of single drawings being bounced and tweened about the place, and the worst 3D models I've seen in an officially licensed wide-released game. Look at Mrs. Puff's eyes! And I thought she looked bad in the console version. I now have an appreciation for Mrs. Puff's deformed console hips. And the table fades out faster than SpongeBob's model, so you can see that he's just standing between the chair and the table instead of sitting. Nice. This game's levels are split between the three characters' different dreams, so I'll start with SpongeBob's levels. They're pretty bad. SpongeBob dreams of racing, but for whatever reason, instead of just going the obvious, more entertaining route of having a racing or driving section, it instead goes with the absolutely weirdest route of having you play a standard level, but with a car. You trundle along at a walking speed, shooting evil tires and traffic cones. Look at this breakneck speed! Deja vu, I've just been in this place before. Higher on the street. And then when there's a blockade, you have to go off and find an item to help you get past, like nitros or this poorly animated soap thing. The whole time I was playing this, I kept asking myself, why the hell am I in a car? Or boat? In the console version you have a driving section, then a platforming section where you collect car parts. They could have just adapted the mechanic platforming part, but instead of just taking the gameplay that makes no sense for a vehicle and went with it anyway. And I'd forgive it if it was at least fun, but the gameplay is awful. It consists of clicking the left mouse button to move and attack, and holding the right mouse button to go even slower and essentially enter a stealth mode. That's right, a driving section with stealth mechanics. That makes no sense. Snake, you need to sneak past the guards. Here, take my Dodge Charger. It shows you the enemy's area in which they'll acknowledge you, so if you keep your circle away from theirs, you'll sneak past. When it works, that is. A lot of times my circle wouldn't be touching theirs and they'd still attack anyways. No matter what you do, SpongeBob's dummy thick ass will alert the guards. So anyway, once you've cleared the Bikini Bottom Speedway, you apparently get awarded first place, despite these guys being nowhere in that race. And you're ready for the next level. The next level sees SpongeBob on a spaceship with very similar controls to the car, where you move by pressing where you want to go with the left mouse, right mouse enters sneak mode, and later you can shoot a net to catch the small jellyfish. The larger ones act as walls as they're too big to catch in nets. Up until you get this net shooter though, you have to sneak past all the jellyfish, as being noticed results in a one-hit kill. The problem with this control scheme though is that a lot of the time I'd be trying to catch a jellyfish from a distance so as to not alert them, but then I'd start moving directly toward them. It led to a lot of unnecessary frustrating deaths in an already unnecessarily frustrating game. This is a very slow level as the majority is just sneaking around at a snail's pace collecting 3 hidden keys, then sneaking back, but I will say it's better than the driving level. So the ending to SpongeBob's story, you know what, it's better to just show you rather than tell you.
Go ahead, make my day.
Where do I start? He saves the day by catching him in a net, when the whole level I'd been avoiding the big jellyfish because I couldn't catch something that big in a net. Yes, it's a dream, so maybe the logic doesn't hold up, but fuck me, dude, that's just dumb. And look at this lazy mashup of character art from different places behind him. It looks like a freaking Connor the Waffle thumbnail. No offense. And then that is just one image that gets tweened to hell. You can even see it appear on screen crushed up before being shot. I do animation. They just needed to move the asset off screen if they wanted to do it this way. But nope, they thought it was good enough and called it a day. Next I played Patrick's levels, which weren't much better, but at least made more sense as Patrick is an on-foot hero rather than in a vehicle. It doesn't feel much better to control though, and it certainly isn't fun. Oh, and I think I mentioned already that this game is lazy, right? Because there isn't even a death animation or anything like that. When you die, there's a delay and then you just start back at the beginning. The screen doesn't go black or anything, you just appear back at the start. I will say, I like the enemies being variations of Patrick, including a salesman that launches his MLM book at you and then runs away, or this hench looking Patrick. Now I've got a positive out of the way. One of Patrick's moves is a fart propulsion attack. So every 2 seconds you'll hear a juvenile fart noise that definitely doesn't get painfully repetitive. Honestly, whomever was in charge of the sound effects in this game, what were you doing? Here's a clip from the next part of the level where Patrick shoots clowns for some reason. For anyone wondering, I played the majority of this game on mute, hence how I managed to finish it without gouging my eardrums out. As for the last boss of Patrick's level, well, it's pretty epic, I'll give you that. I think final bosses should test all the abilities you've learned throughout the game and be a true test of your skill, and I think this game absolutely nails that. I will say though, when it turns out this lint monster filled hellhole with garbage bags strewn everywhere isn't an evil lair and is just Patrick's house.
Well, actually, this is your house.
I did find that kind of funny. So the humour isn't terrible in this game. Also, all the voice actors did a good job with this game. Even if the line is poorly written, it's delivered well. Except maybe this scream. Yeah, that's a convincing scream. They definitely just got one of the programmers to voice this, didn't they? Right, so let's get into the Plankton levels. The game finally takes a bit of an upturn here, as whilst I wouldn't consider them good, these levels are definitely a step up. You play as a rampaging Plankton, destroying buildings and fighting Crabzilla. It's satisfying destroying the buildings, and I even like how Plankton looks like he's about to sneeze every time he uses his eye beam. The screaming citizens is a nice touch too. After you rampage, you then get tweened into a whale's stomach, and then the game weirdly becomes a Pikmin clone. Not a direction I expected this game to take, but sure. You control Plankton and take charge of others that have been trapped inside the whale, and send them off to attack enemies. They don't die either, they just get knocked out for a while when their health reaches 0. So you won't feel like an absolute monster like when you send off a bunch of Pikmin to die. You also find more Plankton as you explore the whale's stomach, so by the end you're controlling a real army and sending them off to defeat giant monsters. You then escape through the mouth by jumping up and down on the whale's tongue, and you get ejected out of the blowhole and back to the chum bucket safe and sound. So you finally completed all of the different character levels, struggled through the sad excuse for a driving level, suffered the spaceships, the weird tongue combat and played a Pikmin reskin, and you're ready to face the final boss. Will it be a combination dream, like how the console version weaved in the various dreams for one final end to the story? Or will it be like Supersonic from Sonic Adventure, with one last epic boss for the main character Spongebob? Well, as you can probably guess with this setup, no. You get nothing.
You what?
That's literally it. No extra anything. You complete all the levels separately and that's it. You can press the play credits button if you want to feel like you've completed the game, but that's about it. I think my sense of humour has been ruined by deep fried memes, but I think this end screen of a half naked paint me like one of your French girls Spongebob with a special thanks to Steven Hillenburg is hilarious. It just sums up this game perfectly. In summary, I think there's a reason why this game was exclusive to North America. I think the EU banded together to stop this game from reaching our shores, and I bless them for their efforts. If you get a chance to play this game, I wouldn't. Spare yourself. And if you played this game as a kid and you now hate me for dumping all over your favourite game, well, good for you. If you enjoyed this game, more power to you. But I bet if you went back and played it now, your nostalgia glasses would shatter pretty quick. Thanks for watching. I love SpongeBob games and I enjoy reviewing the bad ones too, so if you want to see more of that, please consider subscribing and leaving a suggestion for the next SpongeBob game I should tackle below. I also have a review for the console version of Creature from the Krusty Krab if you want to see that. And thanks to my channel member Sanchi01 and my Patreon Zil. You're both legends, thank you.